that's, you can cut it off. Is it still running? Okay. All right, this one is not going to be long as that other. We met before we married. We met and when school was out. It was in the meeting in the summer, and we met at a church or at a Brush Harbor where they was having a revival meeting. And then when school started, we was going to school together. So we, I don't know where we wrote notes to one another or how but we talked, and then we started. I started to go and when we started courting, I went to her house, and still didn't have any vehicles or anything, and I'd ride a horse or walk to see her. And then went on, I suppose it went about a year or maybe 2 years like that. And then when I quit school, I couldn't catch it. I had to walk 2 miles to catch the school bus, and it got so bad in the wintertime till I quit school. And so not long after that, she decided she wasn't going any longer, so we had kind of talked about getting married. So I was still going to see her, and so we decided on a time to get married, and that was in 1933. We married in 33, and so when we decided we was going to get married, I went to get the license, and at that time you didn't have to have a blood test or anything, and at that time also everything stayed open on Saturday. Well, where I bought the license, the man had been there a long time, and he's a good friend to just about everybody, and he said that we'd come back on Saturday at a certain time, and he'd perform the marriage ceremony. So we did. We went down there. I got my brother-in-law, Leroy Walden, to take us down there, and me and Mildred and Leroy and her daddy went down to we're going to get married. So when we got down there, the man that was going to do the whatever it was, one sold the license, he was going to do the marriage ceremony, and he got called out on the job. He was called away from there, so we didn't know what to do. And my brother-in-law said, I know a preacher that works around here at the A&P store. Said, I bet you he would do the ceremony. So he went around there, and sure enough he would. And so he come around where we were, and we were sitting in the back seat of the car, and he got in the front seat and turned around and laid his Bible up on the back of the front seat and married us sitting in the car there. And when we got through, there's at least a dozen people standing around there. Never had seen that, I guess. So there's about a dozen people there. A lot of them are from the school out there. Being on Saturday, some of them was in there. So we come back to her house, and spent the first night down there. And then the next day, my sister had married, the oldest sister had married and lived in Smithdale. That was out west of Summit. And so we went down. It was Christmas time, so we went down there and spent the Christmas down there. That was through Christmas, and I don't know what but that was on Sunday that we went down there. Because we had married on Saturday, and we went down there on Sunday, and we spent 3 or 4 days down there with them, and then they brought us back home and stayed a while with us up here at my dad and mother's. And so then we spent I don't know how long we spent with at her home, but it wasn't long before we had decided that we would go to this place where I told you we farmed on our first year. So that's what we did. We came back home and stayed with her people down there till Mildred's people, till we could get in the house that we were going to get in up there. So from there that we got back on the all right. Yeah, it's going. I was born in 1912, and she was born in 1915. So she was 18 when we got married, and I was 21 when we got married. But I don't. At that time, we knew we was going to have to farm, so it wasn't that I was working or she was working. So, but we had both quit school and decided that we was going to get married and was going to farm and was going to try to make it on the farm.